American lawyer and politician Francesco Caprio previously served as the chairman of the Rhode Island Board of Governors for Higher Education and is currently Providence, Rhode Island's chief municipal judge. Caught in Providence, a television program broadcasts his judicial activity. Additionally, he's been on the television show Parking Wars, where he handles several instances involving traffic offenses. Videos of his courtroom went viral in 2017, garnering more than 15 million views. Nearing 500 million people had watched Caught in Providence by 2022, and a video uploaded on Pulptastic had 43.6 million YouTube views. Now in this video, join us to watch the top 10 heartwarming Judge Caprio moments in his courtrooms. Number 10 is the graduation provision. A young driver is caught on camera running a red light. Judge Caprio examines the accused's defense that the signal was yellow before learning more about them. See, when the judge discovers that the defendant is a senior in high school who plans to go to college, he decides to waive the offense, with the one requirement that the student earns a college degree. It's heartwarming to observe how Caprio helps the student. Things get off track when the student claims that he knows the judge's grandson, but the situation is still a great example of Caprio's just moral character. His extraordinary generosity helped him become well-known across the world, and showed how even just a simple act of kindness can just change someone's life. Next, number 9. Honesty is the best course of action. In this case, a father was charged with violating the legal speed limit by an alarming 10 miles per hour. Whoa! After asking a few questions, Judge Caprio summons the defendant's family to the front of the courtroom. The prisoner replied, "I didn't feel as though we were exceeding the speed limit very much, though. Just adequate. Only a little bit?" The judge said oddly. Then Menelik, the defendant's son, is questioned regarding the guilt or innocence of his father. Menelik is not frightened to make the right decision and to act appropriately. "Either guilty or not guilty, what would you say?" When the judge questioned the defendant's child, the youngster answered, "Guilty!" The room erupts in laughter as the child accuses his own father. Judge Caprio decides to remove the accusation of speeding, which benefits the defendant. He also praises Menelik for being honest before saying, "Just take caution. I'm a really sincere young man too. Best wishes to you."
I'm going to ask you 2 questions, okay? And you're going to say one or the other. Now, we're talking about your father. Guilty or not guilty? What do you say?
Guilty.
Guilty. Shake hands. Good one. Okay, you can go back.
Number 8. Go on a break. Even though it was brief, this case was intriguing. When Deborah arrived at court, she thought that she'd crossed 2 red lights. When she learned that she had already received 2 citations for the same crime, she came up with an outrageous defense. Deborah claimed that if she had known about the early ticket, she would not have gone through with 2 more lights. These 2 one-half tickets, and 2 because if I had received that ticket in April, I would have realized that I needed to stop, Deborah remarked. Judge Caprio's puzzled expression is priceless. After acknowledging her logical mistake, he disproves her assertion and offers to show video evidence. He laughs one last time, but when Deborah says no, he just makes her pay the fines. Number 7. Let me develop my argument further. An additional driver was charged with narrowly missing a red light. She complained that a box truck was obstructing her view of the light changing. When Judge Caprio saw the video footage, he swiftly ignored her claim. However, he offers her a more convincing defense based on traffic law. However, although it would seem as though she's not interested in his offer, the defendant keeps using her original justification for winning the case. Caprio says she's not listening, but she refutes that. Now, the judge had a good defense, which was lucky for this driver because that case might have cost that defendant a whole $85. Number 6. Ridiculous ticket timing. This case is going to be cathartic if you've ever received a parking fine for just being a teensy-tansy bit early. Sarah approached because parking at this house was only permitted until 10. When she parked at 9:58, her vehicle received a ticket at 9:59 and 58 seconds. Caprio makes it instantly clear that he finds this transaction to be just completely ludicrous. He mockingly threatened jail time for the little crime immediately before dropping the case and calling Sarah out for her bad decisions. By the time that Sarah adjourns, Caprio has the entire courtroom, including her, in a fit of laughter.
Sarah, you have one ticket on Cushing Street, no parking, 8 to 10. 5, 9, and 58 seconds. And you can't park there until 10 o'clock. Inspector Quinn, that she violated.
That point two will get you every time, Judge.
And I put wrong path in life.
My car clock said 10.
Number 5. Dismissal is immediate. A man in a helmet named Jose Barrientos appears in court to challenge a parking ticket. He claims that after a recent brain operation, his son picked him up from the hospital. But when a traffic officer saw that his son had pulled up next to a fire hydrant, they were issued a parking ticket. After hearing the justification, Judge Caprio decides to dismiss the case without hesitation. The judge's brief investigation into Jose's well-being makes that verdict even more heartfelt. In a very brief conversation, Caprio shows once more that his genuine compassion is there for the people that visit his court.
I just gotten out of the hospital because I had brain surgery, and my son literally parked at the corner of CVS, and then she said, yeah, sure. She didn't really believe me. I got in the car, and then, we left, and then I got the mail and the ticket. She didn't even give us
All right, case is dismissed.
I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good luck. How you feeling? I can't hear you. Speak into the mic.
I had brain cancer surgery, and then, yes.
Yeah?
So hopefully in October I'm good.
Okay, we're rooting for you. Good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
4. Breakfast is a requirement. Young Denise is invited in to give a witness statement in support of or against her mother. Caprio decides to ask Denise to decide whether to fine her or let her off the hook after hearing her mother's defense. Puts it all in the hands of Denise. After she decides to charge her mother $50 in the most hilarious way possible, the judge asks child about breakfast. When she shakes her head, the judge tells her that the case should be dismissed if her mother took her out to supper. Let's assume that I negotiate a deal with your mother, okay? She buys you breakfast when you go after getting fired. The importance of the day's most significant meal cannot be overstated, so I'll toss it out, the judge declared. Even still, this case wasn't the first one in which a condemned person in Caprio's courtroom received such a delicious penalty. Let's look at the next one.
You want to come up here and help me out? Come on.
Don't mess me up.
On the sidewalk, okay? And that fine is $100. He hasn't paid the ticket, so we have penalties in addition to the $100. So what we're gonna do, right now, I know that you've been here since 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's like 9:20 already, right?
Yes.
So what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I didn't have anything for this morning.
Okay? That if she buys you breakfast when you leave, that I'll dismiss it. Is that a good deal?
Because
Then she's gonna pay the 50. What do you think?
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay. Well, thank you so much. You did a great job.
Number 3, the intense lighting. You don't necessarily need a highly effective defense to succeed. I mean, one time a man is charged with running a red light, right? So he admits his error, and he adds that he was misled by the disorganized traffic signals at the crossroads where he made the turn. Instead of just dismissing the man's case, Judge Caprio finally, carefully considers it. He admits that there were too many lights, but he also lambasts the traffic police at the intersection. Also, after making sure the defendant is informed of the situation, Caprio dismisses the case. Despite preferring different language, Caprio's choice reveals that he truly pays heed to the arguments. Number 2, a polished speech. As soon as Judge Caprio reads the parking ticket accusations, the defendant pleads guilty and asks for an explanation. The defendant acknowledges that he is a veteran and that he was receiving medical care while parked on the side of a VA hospital. It goes on to highlight the ongoing parking issue and asks that the judge take into account a lesser punishment for him and other veterans who receive medical care near the hospital. They have sacrificed time with their wife to serve this country, regardless of whether they were in battle or on active service in a foreign nation, says Leonardo DiCaprio in his heartfelt statement. He concludes by dismissing the case without paying any expenses. Finally, number 1, a mother in grief. Andrea Rogers arrived in the courtroom with 4 fines totaling $400. In the middle of the action, she starts just crying. "Yes, the one that a loved one is affected by," she stated, sobbing. "I went to Social Security because my check had been stopped because of my son's premature death last year." Rogers claims that while taking care of her son's business following his passing and eviction, she gathered the tickets. After hearing about her defense, Caprio reduces her fine to $50. He instantly changes his mind and throws out all of Andrea's tickets after she agrees that would leave her with just $5 in her name. Period. "I'm not just gonna hand you $5 or throw you out to only have $5, the judge said. "I'd like to ignore the charges." So, what do you think of Judge Caprio? Comment with your thoughts down below and let us know. Well, that's all we got for today, guys, but let us know what you think about this by, subscribing to the channel. Cheeky, call to action. Oh yeah, and press the bell icon for, updates and stuff. And that way you can stay current on the newest courtroom topics. Yay! Thanks for viewing, or watching, for being here. Thanks for existing. Let's go with that one.